Today, we discuss the Bose QuietComfort Ultra 2.0, brand new active noise canceling headphones from the people at Bose. Uh, you know, Back in the old days, people used to say that Bose stood for buy other sound equipment. However, in the era of the noise canceling headphone, Bose has kind of become, they were the pioneers of the noise canceling thing. They were the only game in town for quite a while. The game has got more players in it, but does Bose still come out on top? Let's talk about these headphones, okay? So let's first talk about design, comfort, compared to the previous QuietComfort Ultra. Not really all that different. Some different colors available. The design, the build, all about the same. And that's not really necessarily a bad thing. I mean, they are very light. The vegan leather on the headband and the ear cups, very plush, very nice feeling. They're easy to wear on long sessions, and because the cups themselves are smaller, they are also easier to lounge with, lie in bed, recline, something like that, than say something like the AirPods Max with their gigantic ear cups. The ear cups themselves fit my ears pretty well, and I think they would fit most people's ears pretty well. I mean, you want a snug fit mostly because you want to have nice noise canceling. There's only two buttons on here. You've got a Bluetooth pairing button. You've got this function button. And then you've got this little strip here that's for the volume, although I've found this to be slightly finicky when using it. It's not as easy to find it by feel as I thought it would be. Then they have USB-C and a 2.5 to 3.5 millimeter headphone jack plug. One of the things right off the bat that kind of has bothered me is that you can't change the modes of the headphones with a shortcut. Not in any way that I've found so far. And I looked in the app and I looked everywhere else. If I'm just not finding it, then please do tell me in the comments below. But one thing I do with the AirPods is I use these quite frequently with noise canceling, and then if I need to talk to somebody, I will, hit this shoulder button and it will go into transparency mode and I can talk to somebody. There is sort of you can set automatic transparency mode when somebody talks to you or whatever, but a lot of times I like to just have the headphones on and be able to hear my kid if he's in the room doing his thing. But then sometimes I want to just be able to not hear the kid. So turn the noise canceling on. You can do it in the app. It's just not as easy as I would want it to be, I guess. And then clamping force of these guys, the force that it puts on your head, is not very great at all, but it does give you a nice feel on the head and a nice seal when you're using them. So that is also very good. I also didn't notice with glasses that they are in any way impeded. I mean, they kind of come right to the edge of where my ear is, so they're not pressing on the outer sections of the glasses here. You got tons of features available in the Bose app. So you connect to the headphones, and then you've got your different modes. Turn your noise cancellation off and on. You can also adjust the amount of noise cancellation that you want, although I find that I just always want as much as it can give me. Then you have quiet, aware, immersion, and cinema modes. The quiet is obviously noise canceling. Aware is when you have the transparency mode, I guess you would call it. Immersion is uh, a it's sort of a spatial audio thing. Cinema is a new mode that they have that allows you to enjoy cinematic experience with a fully immersive thing. How it's different than the immersive mode, I don't know. And to be quite honest, I don't really care for these. I like stereo and, quiet or transparency. I don't really go for these different spatial modes. It's not my thing. It might be your thing. It's not my thing. You can choose different sources. You can choose different sources. So you can, right now, this is my S25 Ultra, and then I can also choose the iPad. You can choose to connect it more than one thing, and it will do that regardless whether you like it or not. There is an EQ section here. I have a quasi smiley face EQ going on here, but it's only like +1 and 2. I could probably just not have it at all. I don't like EQ modes. I'm somebody who believes that like the thing sounds like what it's supposed to sound like when it comes out of the studio and gets mastered and all that. So messing with EQs shouldn't be a thing that you have to do on an expensive pair of headphones. One thing about the switching of sources is whenever I have this thing in multi-point connection, and it's connected to my iPad, and I'd lay in bed and listen to music or watch some YouTube or something like that. Whenever I'm laying in bed, if I get a notification on my phone, it cuts the sound to get the sound on, but then it doesn't come back to the iPad whenever the notification goes away, so I have to pause the video and then start it again. Hopefully that's something that can be fixed, because it doesn't seem like that's the way it should function. And if you've got two things hooked up, one should interrupt the other, and then it should just go back. Maybe I'm asking for too much. I hope not. You can disconnect, you can turn off this multi-point connection thing, but I found that it just comes back on the next time I go to use the headphones, so I don't know. And some of you might be saying, well, like, oh, geez, they're a big deal. It's a great feature, etc., etc. And it is, but in a world where AirPods will connect to any device that you have connected to your iCloud account, and it'll do it seamlessly these days, these are the small things that make a big difference between one pair of really expensive over-the-ear noise-canceling headphones and the other. On the bright side, the previous model did not carry lossless audio through USB-C, and these do. So now you can connect to your device and listen to USB-C audio. It does come with the USB-C cable. The headphones come with this very nice carrying case. They fold up nicely and collapse into that. Now you have to push them all the way in like so. They collapse in there. And then you have in here the USB-C cable, as well as that 2.5 to 3.5 millimeter cable. And then they just fold up nicely. This is not a hard shell case, but it will protect the headphones. You throw them in your backpack. It's a nice compact situation. In terms of Bluetooth codecs, these guys give you all the things that you would expect. It's Bluetooth 5.4, up from 5.3 on the previous model, and you get the SBC, the AAC, the LDAC, the LHDC, the aptX, including the fancier aptX for phones that have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 or higher chip. Battery life, 30 hours of battery life is advertised. I don't know if they get that on the regular, but 30 hours is more than a day, so that's pretty good. In fact, it's better than what the AirPods Max promise, and less than the Sony WH-1000 XM6 gives you, but still, 30 hours is more than enough for a day's work or whatever the case may be. Unless you're flying to Australia from the US, that should be enough for any flight that you're going to take. They get a full recharge in 3 hours, and it takes 15 minutes to get you a couple hours charge, if I recall correctly. The ANC is where Bose really makes its money, though. I mean, Bose has been, as I said, the ANC originator, the champion of ANC. There used to only be Bose QuietComfort headphones where you could get that ANC. Now you can get it in a lot of different places, but Bose still has some of the best, if not the best, on the market. Gone are the days where you put the headphones on and all of a sudden your ears just go womp and you feel like some kind of weird pressure. The sensitivity of the mics that they use to run the ANC is really, really dialed in at this point. In fact, Bose doesn't claim that the ANC is better. They say it's now more precise, which would be better. So I don't know exactly what they mean, but I do know that they are really, really good. And that's what you would want from a noise canceling headphone from a company with the profile of Bose. Of course, none of this other stuff matters if the sound quality is not there. So I spent a couple of weeks using these as my everyday headphone for all the stuff that I do with headphones every day, as watching YouTube, listening to music, just going out for a walk or whatever. And I have to say that the sound quality is very, very good. Now, Bose has always had their own EQ. Every company has their own kind of EQ curve or profile that they like to use with their headphones. And Bose has always been what I would call polite. A little bit of a smiley curve. In fact, you could see when I got into the app that was what was already dialed in. +2 in the bass, +1 in the mid, +2 in the high. So you get a little bit of a bit of a lift. You get a little bit of mid-range presence. You get a little bit of the sparkle of the high end, but nothing that's going to be like, wow, that's pumping bass or anything like that. Okay. If you want pumping bass, these are not the headphones for you. These are a very refined, polite sounding headphone. Everything sounds really good. Nothing pokes out. Nothing is in the wrong place. Nothing doesn't sit where it ought to. Nothing is harsh. Nothing is... Bose has been at this game for a while, and the QuietComfort series has been around for a long time, and these guys are Bose headset through and through. Very crisp, clean, clear, polite sound. And for most people, I would have to imagine that that's what you would want. I think that most people who are buying a $400 plus headphone are going to be people who are traveling a lot, and that's why they want the ANC, or they just want a really nice headphone to wear around. They get out of the way and they allow the music to sound like what it sounds like, which, without tons and tons of processing or EQ laying all over it or bass boost or any of those things, it just sounds like what the music sounds like. And I, for one, appreciate that. You don't always have to have 1,001 ways to tweak the sound for the quality of the sound that you get to be good or even great. So should you buy the Bose QC Ultra 2 headphones? Bose has continued to refine. They are in that stage of what they're doing. If you have the previous model of these, maybe unless you want the USB-C lossless audio, maybe you don't need to grab these. But if you don't have a pair, or you have a pair that's several generations old, these are definitely worth grabbing. I mean, the QuietComfort line and the Ultra 2, they are in refine mode. Very nice build, very light, very comfortable, sounding good with great ANC. In fact, they're light and easy to use and wear in a way that, while Apple has many things going for it with the AirPods Max, light and comfortable are not two things that I would call the AirPods Max. So Apple, if you're paying attention, maybe take a few cues from Bose here. Everything that I've talked about here, of course, linked down in the description. Go get yours and let me know what you think down in the comments, or tell me down in the comments whether or not you would buy these, want to buy these, what else you might buy instead. We'll have some sort of audio fisticuffs down in the comments below. A boisterous discussion, as we always say here at the Painfully Honest Tech channel. Once again, thanks so much for being here. My name's Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. So honest it hurts. The Bose QuietComfort Ultra Gen 2 review for you. Until the next time, I'm out.